Adrian Kentrowitz, Alfred Andler, Andrew Steele, Barry Marshall, and Dr. Ben Carson are famously known doctors. What's funny about these names is that they're all men. When Googling or searching the web for famous doctors, you'll very rarely, and there are only very few women doctors that you'll find. In 2012, there was an article published called "The Archives for Women in Medicine," documenting women's experiences and contributions at Harvard Medical School. Jessica Sedgwick was the author and project manager for this project. She's also a project archivist at Harvard University. This article tells about the project to make sure that women's breakthrough in medicine is made known to the world and not overlooked like it can sometimes be. The reason I chose this article is because as an aspiring med student, I think it's a good idea to study what past women generations had to go through to get us to where we are today as accepted women doctors. The author's thesis states, although there has been a dramatic increase of Harvard Medical School women students, they are still underrepresented in the manuscript holdings of the Cantway Library Center for the History of Medicine at Harvard Medical School. The main points that I'm going to be discussing today are the difficulties of the first women getting into med school, the background of this project, and how it is important to ensure women's accomplishments are documented. The first point I'm going to talk about is the difficulty that the first women had to get into Harvard Medical School. In 1847 and 1850, Harriet Hunt applied for med school, and for both times she was denied acceptance. The two women following her were also denied. It wasn't until a shortage of men caused by the World War II was the first class of women accepted into Harvard Med School for a 10-year trial. The 10-year trial was there to make sure to see if the women would excel or fail in the medical field. They indeed excelled and continue to every year. They are just excelling more and more, but still they are unrepresented, which leads us to the project background. In 1999, a survey was done at the Library of Harvard, and it stated that less than 20 out of the 900 collections were written by women, and only one was available for research. The Archives for Women in Medical Project's goal is to make known that all the women's accomplishments in medicine. They plan to do this by gathering all the evidence they can to share it with future generations to come. Building collections of women in medicine is very essential. The first admitted class into Harvard Med School is starting to die. Along with them is all their failures and successes. There is no place that actively seeks or documents women in medicine until the Archives for Women in Medical Projects. 7 new collections from the first and second generation of women at Harvard since 2005 have been collected thanks to this project. The analogy, the acceptance of women in a field like is a crack in a dam. Once one drop has seeped through, then the opening is widening enough to allow 3 more drops, and then 10, then 100. Saying that once you let one woman in, it's just going to get more and more and more, and you're not going to be able to stop it. Over 20 new collections since the start of the project have been created, and many more are in the process of being created. In conclusion, the 3 main points was of how difficult it was for the first people to get into med school, the first women to get in med school, the project background, and how essential it is to build the collections. This article explains how women in medicine have been overlooked for years, and it comes up with a solution on how to give women the acknowledgement they deserve. This article opened my eyes about how difficult it was for the first women to get into med school and how hard of a challenge it has been for women to be accepted into the medical world. Women today deserve the same respect as men do. Just because you're a man doesn't mean you have more intellect. It just depends on how hard you work and all your accomplishments.